thought I'd give you a quick tour of my latest acquisition. This is a 1974 Dolomite Sprint. Not a little bad little motor, it needs some work. It's a bit hard to do down the side of my alley, inside the house, but I'll give you a quick look over and all the crusty bits. So we'll start from the rear. It's not too bad. There's a bit on the arch down here. This is all quite solid. There is all dirt under here, which I'll show you in a minute what that's meant. I can't get into that side door, but there is a rust on that B pillar down there. You can see it patched up the other side. From here, you can see the tailgate has got a little bit of surface rust, but a little bit crunchy, but nothing too tragic. So you can see here, it's nice flat metal, so it shouldn't be too hard to repair. Down here, again, mostly paint chipping off really. Again here, biggest thing is on the boot floor, which I'll just grab my torch and I'll give you a quick tour underneath. So this is probably one of the worst areas under here. So as you can see, it's been patched up before and some of it's falling off and it's quite fragile. However, and this here is obviously the fuel tank. However, this is quite a simple panel, and also it's underneath, so it's not too worried it doesn't have to be too exactly historically precise or clean or tidy. Likewise, this side's possibly a bit worse, and again, you can especially see where it's been patched up. Yeah, so it is very crusty over here. Suspension parts look a bit crusty, but they're actually quite solid. Probably just need a good clean. The diff does whine, as you can see there's a drip. I do wonder if it might have been run dry at some point in its history. I do have a spare diff coming, so at some point I'll replace that. And so we come back up to the top again. Got a bootloader full of spares, which is really handy. Usual rust spots under here. Looks pretty much fine. I mean, it looks brilliant. Roof all seems solid. Got a rubber bar stay, which is really nice. Not actually opened it yet. I haven't dared that. This bit here, it's solid-ish. Doesn't seem to crunch too much, apart from there. However, if I just go behind and look in the door, this panel's coming off here, but if you have a look down there, come on, focus, you can see there doesn't seem to be anything massively untoward there. So quite happy that's probably quite solid. Door jambs, come on, focus, all fine. There has been a bit of welding down here that needs clearing up, and this front bit, which I'll show you in a minute. The other side on that D pillar is in much better condition, solid as anything. Going back to the wheel arch, this wheel arch has bubbling, as you can see. However, it's solid. Now, you can see a bit of crack in there, so I'm not sure it's poor paint prep or something, it's just a bit of surface rust. Underneath here, like the other side, is full of dirt, which hasn't been helping things. Door bottoms are crusty. Now, these... Oh, again, see that? I'm pushing quite hard, and they're not going. So, I think it might just have been poor paint prep, or painting or something like that when it was painted. But then, the respray was what, I think it was about 7-8 years ago, and this has been a regular driver, so it's not untoward. Some bubbling up here, but again, this thing's 45 years old. Windscreen seals are perished. Nothing to be too scared about. I believe you can get replacement rather. Front end looks fine. Again, the wheel arch is all solid, dirty but solid. These little bits again are a bit weird. That I think is probably poor paint prep and rust going underneath. Here, this big bubble, that's solid. But what that is, there's another one matching this side. I think what this is someone's actually had wing mirrors, put a rubber grommet on and just painted over the top. On the front, this bit here is all solid, which another rusty point of a Dolomite. As well, I say solid, there is a little bit of crust coming in the bottom of it. I probably won't be able to get the camera there. Yeah, so it's just surface rust. This bit here needs, again, I think it's just going to need probably a paint or a good clean-up. And I think most of these are probably stone chips. This side is much the same. I'll probably not be able to get down here, but you know, the arches are fine there. Back arch is not too bad. There is something funky going on that B pillar, which I'll try and get maybe later. Now, going inside, the interior is a bit shabby. Carpets are probably original, as you can see, they're pulling away. And yeah, the other bit of probably the biggest other concern that needs welding is this floor. Yeah, as you can see, it's broken. I can actually pull bits off it, but you know, hey, that's another panel that's available from the Dolomite Club, so I'm not too scared about that. Wheel's got a slight crack in it at the bottom. I'm hoping I can get this recovered maybe. Dash itself is fine. There's a small hole coming through here, small crack here, but again, nothing massive. Bit grubby, that's fine. This seat has a big split at the bottom. I'm hoping that this can be redone. The seat padding is completely knackered. It's not particularly comfortable sitting at the moment. This driver's footwell, it's hard to get to, but if I try and pull it back, if I try and get you in there, right, there you go. See, that is pretty good to me. No obvious rust. I mean, what's that? Is that a bit of bitumen or is that a panel? I don't know. I think it's just something stuck on. Maybe need a little bit more investigation later, but again, underneath is easier because if you're not the tidiest of jobs, it doesn't matter. Headlining a bit grubby. I've got some magic potion from a friend that will hopefully clear that up. What else we got? Engine we'll cover in a minute. Pedal wise, clutch is very binary. There's not much throw, but it seems to be, as soon as you get about there, you bite and point and then, you know, bang. Accelerator, it's quite hard there, so I think it probably just needs a bit of lube. Brakes, yeah, they need a bit of attention. I think when the calipers are seized, it kind of darts around a bit and doesn't brake as smoothly as you like. Possibly the discs are a bit warped. Gearbox is fine. A bit hard to engage, but I think that's just the clutch. So go back to the seats. Yeah, the fabric's getting a bit thin. I don't believe it's available. Hopefully you can get something similar, even if it isn't identical. Maybe a retrimmer might be able to help it. I'm not particularly worried about complete originality on this car. I mean, it's done, it says 24,000 there, but to be honest, I think it's probably done, well, I know it's done definitely 100,000 on top of that. So it's sent in the low mileage, pristine example. And I don't want it to be because I like to drive cars. Wing mirror, bit falling apart, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Right, oh yeah, and this, we'll just pop the bonnet for in a sec. And just have a show you this B pillar. As you can see here where it's been patched up. So, I think that's probably not too bad. I'll probably give it a clean down with a flat, either a flat disc or a knotted wire, and then just give it a paint just to make sure it's all solid. Engine is all there. Obviously 16 valve sprint engine. The whole reason why, the main reason I bought this car. not much to say about it really, apart from it does rattle. I'll try starting it in a minute and might do this as a separate video, but yeah, I'm a bit worried it's a bottom end knock, but these things are hard to judge. It could be something as simple as a mount knocking or something like that. It's got electronic ignition, which is quite nice. It's the illumination kit. The Dizzy cap is a new old stock one. That's quite old. I think that probably needs replacing some point soon. Go around this side. Again, stuff like these suspension towers are really good nick. And again, over there's no real noticeable rust, which is another point. And again, down by the battery, this is a bit dirty, but there's no rust. So that is reassuring. I mean, you can see a bit of the lights around falling off, but that's minor. Bulkhead, all fine, all nice. A little bit of crust coming through here. You think that'd probably just be a case of clean it up and get crust and giving it a good paint. Again, down here, this all is very nice and solid. So I'm very happy with certainly the front end, apart from the engine. What else can we cover? I think that's really about it. Yeah, there was something else I think, but I can't remember what it was. Chrome work is pitted, but probably a bit of auto sole should get them looking a bit nicer. Again, I'm not overly bothered because it's never going to be minter. I'll tell you what, I'll try and see if I can get that door open and find the keys, and I'll show you that pillar. It's a bit of a weird one. Looking through the forums and stuff. Oh, wrong key, obviously. Been an old car, there's 2 keys to the doors. Yeah, I don't know what's happened to this. I don't know why it's there. It doesn't look too hard to repair. It's just a bit unusual. See? I don't know what's going on with that, but we will see. So yeah, that is about it. I'll try and do an engine start in a minute, and I'll record that. Oh yeah, one other thing. Underneath, I don't think it's major, and I don't think it's going to affect it. Again, this might be a reason why I need to have a look to see if that noise. The exhaust has got quite a nice dent in there, I'm guessing from going underneath something quite low. Centre bearing apparently has been replaced. The grumbling noise is does it idle. So I don't think it's anything from the clutch onwards. That is a bit crusty here. I'm hoping that this can be all cleaned up. Well, it is getting a bit fragile actually. Yeah, that is very fragile. But the rest of it is all very solid, so that might be, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, I think that will need fixing, but that doesn't look a particularly hard job. Seals are not too expensive from the Dolly Club. And again, this side here is a bit scabby. This is solid though. This other side I think probably needs a bit more work in this wheel arch. Just down here, not enough light, but in there, that wheel arch is a bit holy. Oh, one last thing. It's got this fabulous tyre on. So the rest of the tyres are all modern Kumho or Kumo, whatever they're called, Korean brand. But this one's got a Sterling radial remold, I believe, because the original owner, the previous owner, bought new tyres, and for some reason this other one that was supposed to go on had a like an threaded insert type thing. So I need to have a look at that and possibly get a replacement alloy. To give you sort of an age, it's a remolded tyre that is made in Great Britain. So this tyre is possibly older than I am. Doesn't even have a date code on. Is that a date code down there? That's tyre size. No, God knows what tyre, how old that is. So yeah, that is basically my 1974 Dolomite Sprint. 1974 been quite an early one. So the next few weeks, months, years, I'll be trying to get a handle on this and try and make it into a bit better condition with some of the bodywork and try and sort that mechanical out. I'm hoping it's nothing major on that engine. I can do a rebuild. I can pull the engine, that's fine. It's mostly that I'm concerned that I'm supposed to be moving house, so I've got to have this car movable and working before we move in, hopefully a couple of months. I might take this belt off. There is there's hardly any wobble in that, but that, you know, moves reasonably smoothly, so I don't think it's that. I'm just hoping it's a mount or something. Anyway, enough of me jibber jabbering, and yeah, have a look at the thread when I sort of update it, and hopefully this will be quite an enjoyable process and not a frustrating one like my MGB was to get on the road and sorted. Right, so here's a start. This is a cold start, a very cold start. Well, not very cold, it's like 25, 28 degrees Celsius or something like that out there at the moment. We're having quite a nice hot day, a really hot day here. Right, I'll give it a tiny bit of choke. And see how she goes. Let's start her. Ooh, that didn't. So I don't know if the mic's coming through with the knock-in. It does it more when it's warm, I think. I was just trying to remember. I drove about a good hour yesterday with it. Outside, I mean, she didn't sound too bad outside actually. This is what makes me think it might be something like a mount. I'm not sure if it's going to come through on the mic, but if I try, just won't rev it too hard because she is cold. It's this deep thud. I might have to get someone who knows a bit more about these engines to maybe listen to it, maybe have a oil pressure check. I don't know. I mean, she does run and she's all right. She's running a lot better now. I've actually tapped up the dash pots, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm gonna have a look underneath in a minute. Oh, key wrong way. Sorry, start motor. Yeah, I'm gonna have a look underneath and make sure there's no mounts or anything. Can't run it too long because it's like 20 to 9 and I don't really want to upset the neighbours. The beeping is this horrible modern aftermarket stereo. These Sony things that always seem to beep and demand their attention when you take the key out. I think it's to tell you to take the panel off, just in case someone might nick a radio, which I don't think really happens anymore. But yeah, so she starts, runs, everything seems all right. It's just this knocking. No oil lights came on when I was driving it, which would make me really concerned. So I don't know. I believe the previous owner, previous to the previous owner, did a mini rebuild and replaced the shells because they were knackered. I've got pictures of that, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think I need to have someone to look at it. Anyway, that I think is probably it. You'll see more videos and stuff on the forums that I post on. So yeah, I'll try and keep them up to date as much as possible. Right, see ya, bye.